What's up YouTube, Handlebar Mike here with a video about lighters, actually. I'm smoking my meerschaum with some Samuel Gwyth Fire Dance in it. Nice light Virginia based aromatic that I enjoy. Now Amy Mack has done a couple of great videos on lighters, and she actually talked about Zippos. I am a big Zippo fan. Something about that sound, that clink sound, just a good time. I've never owned one with a pipe insert though, until after I saw one of Amy's videos. I had some extra coin in my pocket and I absolutely fell in love with this lighter, which she owns as well. And this is my first Zippo with a pipe insert in it. And I've been using it and absolutely loving it. It's great. It is far superior to a standard Zippo with getting the pipe lit and everything else. So if you're a Zippo fan and you don't own a pipe insert, get a pipe insert for your Zippo, or just buy a new lighter, new Zippo with a pipe insert. It is well worth it. And again, thank you, Amy Mack, for having such great taste and showcasing it. So made me want to go buy that one. Absolutely love this lighter. There's a couple of lighters that I'm kind of a lighter geek when it comes to a lot of things. I like lighters, always have, and it started all with this little guy here. Let me put that back down. With this lighter right here. It is a promotional lighter for Sunrise Milling Corporation, which is out of New Jersey. And this was my grandmother's or my grandfather's. It was from their house, and I love this lighter. I love advertising lighters. I'm kind of a geek about advertising lighters. I also love hammer style lighters like that, which we'll talk about. But one of my favorite things about this is the phone number for Sunrise Milling Corporation. This was back when you needed to actually talk to an operator, and the phone number was RA2-1400. So it wasn't something you dialed, it was something that you talked to an actual operator about, and they connected you, and I always thought that was really, really cool. That's one of my favorite things about this promotional lighter is the actual phone number on it itself. Now, like I said, I like hammer style lighters. I have quite a few hammer style lighters. So hammer style lighters are lighters where you usually depress an area. So either like in this case it has like an actual thumb trigger, where this one just has a depression in the middle there. And what that does is activates this front lever to go up, which exposes your wick. Okay, and it also has the flint and wheel connected to it, so it creates the spark when you hit that hammer. Now this is an old Evans lighter from the 30s, and this is really a cool find because this is clearly supposed to be engraved, and this is a nice example because it is not engraved. I always thought about maybe going to get my initials put on it or something like that, but just never got around to doing it. But I love these old Evans ones because their mechanism for the hammer actually has changed over time. So it's very easy to date these depending on how that mechanism works. Now this one is like super mechanical. There's actually like a half cog type thing in there that catches on some teeth and actually pulls the steel wheel against the flint to create that spark. So it's really a neat thing. I don't find too much use for these when it comes to lighting a pipe. Depending on how the wick and the hammer is set up, this one's not too bad as far as getting in there and lighting a pipe goes. I always carried these though and always liked them because I like the mechanical style of them. But I'm also, they were always just classy and sexy as hell to be able to pull out a lighter like that and light a lady's cigarette, is how I always thought as well. So there's hammer style lighters that I absolutely love, but like I said, from a pipe perspective, I don't really use them for that as much. I also love another company called Nimrod. I am a big fan of Nimrod lighters, and I only have one example to show you guys. This is one of the Nimrod pipe specific lighters. There's also a Nimrod Commander, which is more of a Zippo style lighter that did have a pipe insert as well. Nimrod made lighters specifically for pipes. Now I love the design of this lighter. It's, I don't know, simplistic yet industrial that I absolutely love about it. It fits in the pocket great. The only thing I don't like about it, which I love about Zippos, is the refill on this thing. It doesn't hold a ton of fluid, and it does need to be refilled daily almost, it seems. And the problem is right there on the bottom. This is actually where you'd fill it. There's a bunch of cotton in the wick stuffed in here basically. And it's a screw in the bottom. If I need a tool to open this and put fluid in it, it's just not something I want to have with me at all times. You can actually pick these up on eBay for pretty cheap. And I thought about picking one up that wasn't in great shape and maybe seeing if I can knurl this bottom ring so I'd be able to twist it off by hand easily instead of having to get a screwdriver. With the Zippos, you need to refill it. It's super easy. You just pull it out, lift up the cotton, and just fill right there. So no tools required, no special things needed. You can do it wherever you are as long as you have fluid or access to fluid. But how this Nimrod works is it basically pulls apart, which exposes the wick inside there, and then there's your wheel, your steel, and the flint inside, and basically you just do that to get the wick lit, and you just rest it on the top of your pipe basically. And you just slap it closed to put it out. I love this design. I think it's a great design. The only thing I hate about it is the fact that I need a screwdriver to get that off. And capacity is not that great as far as the fluid goes. I used to have one of the Commanders. I used to have a Nimrod Commander that I really did like. I actually gifted it to a friend. That's why I don't have an example to show you. You can pick them up on eBay for inexpensive as well. And it's surprising how many you can find of the Commanders that are like new old stock, still in boxes and stuff like that, and again, not breaking the bank. You're in the same ballpark as a Zippo, which is kind of cool for something a little different. You can actually see the whole history of Nimrod company, plus I love that name. It just makes me giggle every time I hear it. But you can find a history of Nimrod online. They did make an executive version of this lighter that was leather wrapped instead of just the metal. Had a nice leather, I don't even know if it was real leather or faux leather, but it has a nice leather to it. Those do seem to command a premium, and I have not picked one of those up just because I haven't found one at a time where I had the money to do so. Let's talk about another example of a Zippo style lighter. This is a Park lighter. Park is notorious for making promotional type lighters. It is a Zippo style lighter. You can see this one's a 7-Up. It's got some nice engraving all around it. The thing that interests me about Park is to avoid, I guess, patent infringements. When it came to Zippos, they have a different mechanism to them as far as how the hinge works and how it closes and opens. So you still get that satisfying click. This is aluminum, so it's a much more lighter gauge because it was promotional item, so you do find that they were built a little bit less expensive with thinner materials. Like I said, I believe this is aluminum, super light. But the mechanism itself, on a Zippo, they have this like hinged spring hammer, basically, right? Like right here. And that is what allows you to get that satisfying click as it opens and closes, and it holds the lid back, and it gives you that assistance basically when opening and closing the lid. Well, with Park, they basically just have a piece of like spring steel attached to the side of the insert, and in the cap itself there's an extra little tab that pushes up against that spring steel, and that's what creates the assistance, I guess, for opening it and closing it. So I believe that was done to get around patent issues because Zippos are patented as far as their mechanism goes. So Park found a way to imitate the style, but created their own, basically, version of that latching system, which I think is pretty cool. I like big tabletop lighters as well. I don't have any that I brought out here. I do have some in the house. I have some great like Art Deco style ones. And then there's another one which I really love and I've never bought, and I want to real bad, and those are Electro Matches. So Electro Matches are, again, a tabletop style lighter. They're typically in a globe shape, and I think they were produced in the 60s and 70s or so. They plug into the wall, or they have battery power, and basically what it is there's a wand that goes into the body, which has the reservoir where the lighter fluid is, and at the end of that wand there is a wick, and as you pull it out, it creates an electric spark that lights that end wick, and it's an electric match. Is electro match is what they're called. So it creates an electric spark, with actually creates the combustion on the end of that wand that you pull out. And I always thought they were really, really beautiful, and I can see that me using one of those for pipe smoking, because it's like own little, like I said, independent. It's almost like having a match, you know, so it's a long, slender tube with your wick at the end of it. So it should be pretty easy to, you know, direct that flame where you need it to go on the end of that electro match. And I've been dying to get one at a decent price. It seems like prices have gone up and up and up over the past couple of years or so. So if I can find one that's in working condition, or one that I can repair, I probably will pick one up before they keep going higher and higher in price. But there's a lot of cool opportunities out there if you're into geeky things like lighters and stuff like that. There's a lot of neat things to look at. I don't have a lot of high-end, what people would consider high-end lighters. I've always had issues with butane lighters, and it's probably user error without purging and stuff like that. I don't mind the taste of lighter fluid, so I stick with a lot of lighter fluid style lighters. I think it's much easier to deal with, in my opinion, than having to worry about butane and stuff like that. But there's a whole great world of butane lighters out there that have been geared towards pipe smoking as well, with soft flames and everything else. So that's just a little rant, a little show off maybe of some of my lighters that I really, if you guys have not looked or watched any of Amy's lighter videos, go and watch them. She's done a great job going through different types of lighters. She has reviewed some higher end lighters, some medium end lighters, and the whole world of Zippos as well. She does a great job with that. She's also doing some great tobacco reviews right now as well on her channel, so if you haven't checked those out, go definitely check out Amy Mac's channel for those. Alright guys, well I'm going to finish this bowl up here. I'm going to marvel at my little assortment of lighters that I brought out to the garage today. And don't forget guys, pack a bowl, light it up, burn it down, relax, enjoy. I'll see you guys online next time. Have a great rest of your day.